Hello everyone, Baxter Cribbs here with you once again today. Was earlier out this morning on Facebook Live in several different places, but just wanted to take a moment or two to talk to you again this evening. Sitting here on my back porch doing some reading, doing some thinking, going over some stuff. As many of you know, I was in Orlando this past weekend and spent 25-30 hours in different classes learning different things, and it was a great adventure for me. I got to see and hear a lot of different things. One of the things that I learned down there or heard that was kind of impressive, is kind of like a job. Here's some things that you can do to change your world or change different things about your world. And so the man Ray Higdon gave in his speech, one of his speeches, he said, here's 8 things that a person can do to change the world. I only want to talk about 2 of them at this time because it was like a 45-minute speech, so we don't want to get that long here on Facebook Live. But the first thing that he talked about for a person to change their world was that we could practice more gratitude. Now, earlier today in 2 different places on Facebook, I talked about that one of the things that we could do when we start to get depressed or things start to go bad, we get in a temporary situation that our environment drags us down, is to sit down and to write out, literally hand write out 100 things that we are thankful for. And that could take a little time. But if you do that, that would change, if nobody else's world, it would change your world. Because then you could look at that and you would see that you have 100 things to be thankful for in your life. And it's just very, very hard to be depressed and pulled down when you have so much to be thankful for. And so that's one way into having more gratitude, that you can change your world. And the second thing he said he got from a guy named Tony Robbins, I don't know if many of you know him or follow him or have heard of his teachings, but he said, trade your expectations for appreciations. In other words, we expect a lot of things out in the world to happen, and sometimes it don't go like we think it should. Trade that instead of saying, well, I expected this, I expected that, and you should have done so and so. Change all that to being thankful for what happened and look at it and say, what can I learn? How can I learn from the things that did happen? Because sometimes we really have no control over what we think. We expect somebody to act this way or to do this or do that. And we have no control over other people. We only have control over ourselves to some degree. And the next point, I'm going to change that just a little bit. But but we need to have appreciation for what comes our way and say there's something valuable there to learn and appreciate what happened, because the things that happen to us in our life, in our relationships with other people, whether it be your husband, your spouse, your children, your neighbor, your working partners, whatever it is, are there for a reason, and that reason is to help us to grow and to become better, to become something different. So trade your expectations for appreciations. And so that's 2 ways that we can find appreciation in our world. Now, the second thing that he talked about is that with your children, with your kids and your babies, educate them. Get them in some kind of constructive, is what he talked about, some kind of class, school, whatever it is, whether it's homeschool, private school, public school, where they can have some kind of constructive training, something that's going to keep them in a learning path and not necessarily, just turn them loose into school. And you find many times a day, I think that we have taken away the power from the teachers and principals and different places like that to be able to actually teach our children. Our little Billy got sent home today because he was trying to light a fire in the back room. Well, he should have. He should have known better. And we need to have them in a place where they can learn better in those things. And that learning actually starts in the home. But you continue that in the other places that they go to, whether it's a babysitter, whether it's a preschool, whatever they might be in. choose somewhere, choose things that are going to help them to learn better. And one of the things that he gave a book that he recommended that he read it, because he now has, it's like his third child, but this is a very young baby, less than a year old at this point. And he recommended one of the books, don't want to mess up the name, and I'm not sure if he got it right exactly, but he said it's 30 million words. And I didn't remember the person's name, but it's Dana, and the last name starts with an S, and you might look that up. 30 million words. And the whole point of the whole thing basically was to talk to your children, to listen to your children, to get them in front of as many words as possible, as soon as possible. Therefore, their mind starts thinking, because he says before the age of 6 is when you make the most impression upon your children, whether it's in discipline, whether it's in learning, whatever it is. Those first 6 years are considered the most important to be able to train them and to teach them in the way that they should go. And those are the things that are more apt to stick with them when they get older and as they grow up in the environment you want them to grow up in. Because, you know, we all say, I want better for my children. Well, if we want better for them, then make it happen. Get out there and do it. And that, my friends, in itself will help to change the world. And he gave another book that was very strong. He said it's really, really far advanced, and he really just gave the name of the people who wrote it. And he said it was from the Human Performance Group, and that what they done is that they done a lot of studies over people with children who had brain issues. And they found out that the children with the brain issues, once they put this into practice with them, that they were learning better than children that were normal. And the idea was to go back and forth with them, to talk to the child, wait for the child to respond. Talk back to the child, wait for the child to respond. You know, and so you have an interaction that goes on back and forth, and it teaches one's discipline, and two, it allows them to have their say-so, you know, to a degree, so that they understand you're taking turns, not just interrupting stuff like we have going on today, and how they're unruly and all those things. Got a little vibration going on down here. My little dog's out here scrubbing on the bottom of my stand. And we're on the back porch, and he's out here enjoying the coolness of the day. But anyway, these are two things. Like I said, I have 6 more tips. I'll probably come back tomorrow and bring on the other 6. Because there are simple things that help to change the world that we can put to practice in our life, and hopefully bring about change, so that, you know, as we look in our environment, we have those good things going on. My friends, I hope you have a good day. I hope you found value in this, and if you have, please share it with others around so they also can learn from this as well. Thank you. Have a good afternoon or a good evening at this point, wherever you might be. For me, it's an evening time. You can see the sun setting over here, coming over the roof of my house, going down. That way it's not in my eyes, and I can see what's going on. So anyway, have a great day, people, and we'll see you later.